Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into yet another episode of the Forge Podcast. My name is Ryan Messer, and we've got a full slate for this fifth episode today. So, um, before we get too far into it, we've got the Birmingham Barons who took on the Smokies, as well as the Legion who took on Orange County FC. And then we got a lot of transactions for the Birmingham Stallions happen over the past week, as well as a few things from the Bulls and the Squadron. So all five teams have activity going on right now. So before we get too far, I want to thank you guys for listening or watching wherever you may be, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on Amazon. If you like this, make sure you give it a like or share, or even an angry emotion. I don't care. But I just want to thank you guys for even tuning in. So we also want to thank our partners over at Blue Spring Living Water. They're always helping us out. They've been helping us out for a few months now. So helping us stay hydrated. Really good water sourced right here in the state of Alabama. And you guys know of what we've been seeing about some of the boil ordinances and stuff like that with the tap water. You don't have to worry about this with these guys. They can deliver it right to your door, or you can find it at your favorite grocer. So make sure you take a step toward a healthier life with Blue Spring Living Water. This is episode 5 of the Forge Podcast. Leading it off with the Birmingham Barons, who took on the number 1 Tennessee Smokies this past week. On Tuesday, the 23rd, the Barons wound up striking early as Wilfred Veras wound up doubling to bring in Terrell Tatum, who wound up reaching earlier in that inning on a walk. The Tennessee Smokies answered with 3 of their own in the bottom of the inning. And then, with that being a sac fly to bring in 1, and then a 2-run homer to bring in the other 2. The Barons just couldn't get any momentum as the bats were just quiet in that game, and then the Smokies wound up scoring in each of the fifth and eighth innings. I apologize. And for this game, the finals were Smokies with 5 runs off of 7 hits. There was 1 error, and they stranded 5. The Barons had the 1 run off of 3 hits. There was 1 error, and they stranded 4. On Thursday, because Wednesday's game wound up getting rained out, Thursday's game the Smokies started things off in the third with a single run, and then the Barons wound up tying it up with Tim Elko doubling to bring in Gonzalez. That didn't last long as the Smokies wound up scoring 2 runs on each of the next 2 innings. So the Barons just couldn't get anything going in this game. So the finals were Tennessee with 5 runs off of 12 hits. There were 2 errors, and they stranded 9. The Barons were 1 run off of 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 5 men left on base. On Friday, there was supposed to be a doubleheader to make up for Wednesday's game. So this game, the Barons wound up starting off to a really great start as Gusenberg hit a sac fly to bring in Veras in the first, and then Jason Matthews on a line drive to bring in Michael Turner and Mario Camilletti to make it a 3-0 start. The Smokies wound up answering with a run of their own, but they couldn't get anything else going as they closed out the first of what was the supposed doubleheader. The finals for this game were Smokies with the 1 run off of 3 hits. There were no errors. They stranded 7. The Barons had 3 runs off of 5 hits. There were 2 errors and they stranded 2. And then the game 2 was postponed until further notice. Um, Hopefully it'll come back to that. We'll have to make it up because we really need to step some things up. On Saturday, the Barons wound up striking first in the top of the 4th. Michael Turner wound up scoring off of a Gusenberg line drive. And then Gusenberg wound up scoring off of Womack. Then the Barons struck again in the 7th, whereas Tatum wound up singling to bring in Womack. This was overall a great defensive game. We've been seeing a lot of changes with Jason Matthews coming in at third base. He's been him and a few others have been really great tying this team in. I know Wilfred Ferris has been really good, but the chemistry with this team has just been really good for the fielding. So great to see this team really close this one out with a shutout for that. But the totals for this game were Tennessee with the no runs. Well, for 4 hits, there was 1 error, and they stranded 7. And then the Barons with the 3 runs off of 6 hits. There were no errors, and there were 5 men left on base. Sunday, the Barons struck early in the first as Elko and Veras both reached on singles. And then Michael Turner hit a 3-run homer to make it 3-0 early. The Barons struck again in the second with Jason Matthews scoring off of a Gonzalez hit. And then the Smokies answered with a run of their own there in the bottom of the second. And Tennessee really had a lot of chances in this game. But the Barons had really smart fielding opportunities, and they took advantage of it. And they kept the Smokies at bay for this game. But the Tennessee Smokies did cash in on with a run in the bottom of the 6th, but Matthews wound up scoring off of Gonzo single in the bottom of the 7th to keep them up by 3. The finals for this game were Smokies with 2 runs off of 10 hits. There were no errors, and then 5 men left on base. And then the Barons with the 5 runs off of 11 hits. There were no errors, and there were 6 men left on base. The standings right now are Tennessee number 1, Rocket City 3.5 games behind them, and then Birmingham number 3 with 5 games behind, and then Chattanooga 5.5 games behind there. And they're getting ready to take on a homestand with the Montgomery Biscuits. So make sure you guys get out there. They've got Taco Tuesday on Tuesday, obviously, and then Wet Nose Wednesday, where you can bring out the furry friends. And then Thursday, on Thirsty Thursday, they're going to have an 80s theme. So make sure you dress up in your favorite 80s attire. Have to get out my leg warmers and my fanny pack. So Friday night, they're obviously going to have the fireworks, as always. And then they're also doing a campaign for Kids Can Too, which is going to be donations for school supplies for underprivileged kids as they get into this upcoming school year. And then Superhero Night and the Diamond Dig. The annual Diamond Dig will be on Saturday. They're also going to have Superhero Night, where they're going to have Marvel-themed jerseys that will be on auction. So we've done one of these before, but we're going to do another one again this week. Then on Sunday, they're going to have family day where the kids can run the bases, and then back to school day. So it's going to be, I guess the theme's going to be back to school. So make sure you bring the kids out this whole weekend. There's all kinds of things to do. Make sure you get out to these games, and it's a really fun time out there at Regis Field. So switching things over to the Birmingham Legion. We had a chance to talk to veteran midfielder Enzo Martinez after practice on Wednesday, and we talked to him about the game plan that he's got going into this for this second half that we're in.
Yeah, obviously we kind of know the situation we're in, and at this moment, the very important thing is to be able to get as many points as we can, especially at home. Um, we need to get that sorted out, and we don't have a lot of time, even though it's halfway through the season. Everything is very tight now, very competitive, and it's going to be a dogfight till the end. So we have to make sure that we're ready to go from the beginning and get as many points as we can.
When asked about how he's leading the team this year, this is what he had to say.
Yeah, to be honest, I think at the moment right now, because of how everything's been going, I'm trying to focus on myself and making sure that I do the right things and not so much be a guy that tells everyone what to do, but maybe shows by example what needs to be done first. And it's been a weird year for everyone in that sense. So right now, I think as a team, we each need to make sure that we're doing the best we can individually, and then be able to build on that as a team.
Then we also asked him about the goal that he scored the previous week, uh, about how it was called back due to him being offsides. Uh, I think it was good, but I looked things through uh, the three spark colored glasses. But this is what he had to say about that.
Yeah, obviously at that moment, the first thing that happens is you get this adrenaline going through your whole body when you see the ball go in the back of the net, and to quickly have that shot off, it's kind of hard to explain what goes through that moment, but you have to get on and move on really quick because the game doesn't stop. It just keeps going. So you just kind of forget it really quick and you keep going and hopefully try to find yourself in the same situation again.
And lastly, we asked him about the fan support and what you guys mean to the team.
Yeah, I think soccer is a unique sport because the fans really do impact the game. The atmosphere they create fuels the players, gives us the energy, the desire to keep going and keep pushing for our fans. And I think this is a sport that, the more people are there, the better we play. It goes for any team. It's just because the home crowd makes such a difference that creating the environment, putting the other team under pressure. And obviously, when you hear the cheers, when you do good things, they just kind of give you that extra bit of energy to do it again and again and again.
But it's great talking to him, and really great, watching them practice because these guys really are great athletes. Um, it really showed on uh, this weekend as they took on Orange County SC. The Legion wound up coming out really strong with a lot more intensity than we've been seeing past few games. We did get Pasher back, but he didn't come in till after the second half. But great, they had a great defense, keeping it scoreless for the first half. And then the Legion wound up striking early in the second half with Pino scoring the go-ahead goal in the 51st minute. And then in the 89th minute, Pasher gets a breakaway pass to get it downfield, passing it over to Pino for another score. And Pasher himself got one in stoppage time to seal it on his return back to the team. So it's great to see him back. And it's a great overall game and shutout win for the Birmingham Legion at home. So we're stoked to see how this team's been improving. We're getting folks back. Injuries starting to heal, so hopefully we can stay pretty good. Right now we're 9-8-4, and then fifth in the Eastern Conference. So we got to maintain this and keep improving as we get closer to the USL Championship Series playoffs. Hopefully we can get these guys in the playoffs, because that would mean in this calendar year, 4 Birmingham teams, making the playoffs. So this team wants to win, and Birmingham teams want to win. As we know, this state is all about winning, and we're all about winners. So 4 teams in the playoffs would be great. Speaking of winners, we're going to pass it on over to the Birmingham Stallions, who had a few transactions over the past week. Monday, after our podcast, it was announced that Kevin Austin Jr. would be signing with the New Orleans Saints. So, great guy. Got to see him catch a few touchdown passes, great athlete. So we wish him the best in New Orleans. And then on Tuesday, the Stallions had 2 signings. Defensive tackle Demetrius Taylor and from App State, and then cornerback Rashard Wildgoose from Wisconsin. And then on Friday, we learned that league and championship MVP Adrian Martinez signed with the New York Jets, unfortunately. But it's kind of weird that he signed with them with such a crowded quarterback room, because they have Tyrod Taylor, they have Jordan Travis, and they have Aaron Rodgers, which who wouldn't want to, be in with the likes of those 3 guys? They're great quarterbacks. Great minds, just bounce things off. Hopefully he can win a good position and possibly learn a few things from these guys during camp. And then Saturday we found out that Zach Johnson, who played right guard for the Stallions all this season, is signing with the Cleveland Browns. So we wish Zach the best of luck in his endeavors up there. And then yesterday we found out through social media that Stallions defensive tackle Jordan Thompson is retiring. And a shout out to my buddy Luke Miller from State of the Stallions for reporting that one out. But we've got a lot of people coming in, a lot of people leaving. There's a lot of, until I can get some credibility behind some of these, the rumors of other stuff that's happening. I've heard of some rumors about some other folks retiring, some other folks signing with the Stallions. I'm not going to really post that until it's official, but make sure you guys are following us on Shotgun Sports Alabama and on the Stallion Stampede pages to make sure you get the latest and greatest when it comes to the Birmingham Stallions. Switching things over to the Birmingham Bulls, where we wound up heading out to the Pelham Civic Center Friday, and we got an exclusive look at the crew placing the logos out on the floor, getting ready for the ice. So they mentioned that it's almost here, guys. I can't believe it. If you can see the right there, looks great. The Welcome to the Valley, of course, the Cahaba Valley Vipers. They're in the middle of the Cahaba Valley, and of course, the Vipers. They do that promo every year for the late great Art Clarkson. And another thing we've got going on with the Birmingham Bulls is next week we will be having an interview with none other than Coach Craig Simchuk. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. It's hockey's almost here, guys. Um, we've already got the schedule. Should be getting the promos out soon. Should be hearing about rosters soon. So um, we're stoked to see what goes on with this team as we're getting closer and closer to the hockey season. Switching things over to the Birmingham Squadron, as we found out on Wednesday that Birmingham native and former Blazer and Squadron player Trey uh, Jemison was released by the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, Fortunately, we found out on Friday that he was picked up by New Orleans. So, be great to see him back in Birmingham, but we'll see what the New Orleans organization has to say. Um, but uh, it's just great to see him back here in Birmingham, in his hometown. So, uh, but like I said, it's been a busy week for Birmingham sports. Um, so we've got so much activity going on for all teams, all 5 teams. So it's crazy to see all this stuff going on. I know I haven't really had a chance to cover all of them yet, so it's great to see all of this at one time. Um, but as far as Shotgun Sports Alabama, we do have a few things coming down the portal. As our store link is in the description, we've got this this Vulcan shirt right here. It is for sale. We've got a few things. We got hats. We got um, polos. We've got t-shirts, tank tops. You name it. We've got it. Make sure you go on the link in the description. Check it out. And then next week, we will have Birmingham Bulls coach Craig Simchuk on the show. So you can see him here. It's going to be great to see him, talk to him. It was a great interview, so you don't want to miss that interview. But that's all we have for this week. Make sure you stay tuned to Stallion Stampede and Shotgun Sports Network Alabama as we give you guys updates on all things sports in the Magic City. But as for me, I'll see you guys next week. Good night.